if 50 homeless people bought together and was like, okay, we're going to build this plot of land. And it's like just a fucking abandoned lot in the middle of the city. And they're like, hey, we don't have much, but this is our shithole. We bought this for $10,000 and pulled together the money that they panhandled for, and then they just built shit out of like the scraps that they find everywhere. I would applaud it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's fucking cool.
That'd be really cool.
But no, that's not what they're doing.
Yeah, they waste it on drugs and then steal everything, and then they build their tent city on someone else's land. Society.
How's it going, everybody? Holy shit, it's been fucking a while.
Not really. The election was 2 weeks ago.
It feels like it's been forever, man. It really does. Yeah. And I don't necessarily know exactly why it feels like it's been forever, but it feels like it has.
I've just still been working myself to death with New World. And then Pokemon Go, or not Pokemon Go, Pokemon TCG Pocket had come out, so I'd play 2 video games at once. But at least Trump won.
Yeah, exactly. And the shit that Trump is doing is doing some weird shit, actually. I thoroughly love it. But
yeah, it's all good stuff. And it's just like, yeah, he's actually doing like that Malay guy thing, which is like tear it all down, rebuild it. The shit doesn't work. Everyone agrees, unless you're just like completely cooked and can't agree with the thing Trump does.
And the crazy thing is if you look back, 10 to 15 years, the anti-establishment people were asking for exactly this.
Exactly. Now the parties have flipped.
Yeah, they flipped again, and it makes no fucking sense. We are now the party of the working man and the people that just don't want to deal with shit anymore. That was the Democrat Party, when Obama got put in office, because that was a retaliatory pick.
Libertarians.
Yeah. It's so interesting. The big one that I saw is not even like Elon or anything else. I kind of expected them. But our boy, Brandon Herrera, has come up as one of the top few choices for the ATF, which is absolutely insane.
Well, is he actually getting consideration? I've just been seeing him be like, "Hey, pick me," and a lot of people agreeing with that.
I guess
I don't know
voting.
If it's, yeah, but I don't know if it's like looking
there. Make America Healthy Again website.
Mm-hmm.
But he's one of the top few choices. And if they're doing voting, obviously, he has millions of fans that will absolutely just push him.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing that proves the parties have flipped is that Republicans are the ones wanting to get fat and seed oils out of our food, whereas, like 2 decades ago, the whole, like, banning soda or the soda sugar tax and stuff, that was, like, the biggest thing Republicans were against. And now it's like you have Democrats supporting and defending seed oils and trans fats. I don't understand.
I saw some. I don't remember. I think it was you sent it to me.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
That they're trying to. Yeah, I can actually grab that.
It's probably like the most recent thing in the Discord chat as well.
Yes. Whatchamacallit? That shit is fucking crazy. No, it's not. I got it though.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Like, I was talking to my Trump deranged friend, and he was actually defending seed oils, and he says, I'm the one in the cult listening to a conspiracy theory that seed oils are bad for you. I'm like, my entire life, all 31 of my years, I've been told seed oils are bad for me. And now that I'm waking up because the conservative party is in a huge, big health fitness movement, but because that started with Joe Rogan, it's all bad. Seed oil is good now. Drink the raw oil because it's healthy.
This one's crazy. Mr. Kennedy has singled out Fruit Loops as an example of a product with too many artificial ingredients, questioning why the Canadian version has fewer than the US version, but he was wrong. The ingredient list is roughly the same, although Canada has natural coloring made from blueberries and carrots, while the US product contains red dye 40, yellow 5, and blue 1 as BHT, a lab-made chemical that is used for freshness according to the ingredient label. Isn't BHT also the thing that's in Mountain Dew that bans it most places?
I don't care what it is, just the absurdity of saying RFK is wrong for saying there's artificial ingredients in Fruit Loops and then listing artificial ingredients, especially carcinogens, like the dyes that people, again, leftists the entire time over the last 20 years have just been like, yo, we need to get these dyes out of here. They cause cancer. And then Republicans go,
that not only cause cancer, but are linked to things like autism, ADHD, hyperactivity in children.
Conspiracy theorists, you're wrong. Conspiracy theorists, you're wrong.
Like, it's fucking insane. Like, I remember when I was a kid, like 10 to 15 years old, and everything was okay, the anti-vax people were absolutely insane because they had a little bit of common sense with what they were saying, but connecting all of the dots. And it's like, okay, so they weren't as crazy as we thought they were because they were actually saying something that was valuable. Now we also have a massive problem because we're actually fighting against what the hell was going on.
Well, that's because it's been 20 years of this. It's like, oh, wait a second. Autism is like 1,000 times more common now. Maybe we should take a look at all of this stuff again.
Rough estimate on the numbers. It's about back in the 80s, 90s, it was 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 20,000. And now it's 1 in 35.
I refuse to believe that 1 in 35 number, but I know it's what people are saying, and it's probably close to true. Like, there's 1 in every classroom now instead of 1 in every school.
Well, the problem is what autism actually is. Autism isn't a diagnosable thing.
Yeah, we talked about this with the umbrella, but it seems like if you pump a developing child with chemicals, they become belligerent. Who would have guessed?
Well, you see it even when you look at people that consume soda or people that consume the real sugar soda. You know what I'm saying? Like there's such a difference in transparency there that it's weird to genuinely see the difference because there is a big difference. There's a big fucking difference in between type 1 and type 2 people. And it's changing. It's changing in the moment as we speak.
But just like the left's incapability of accepting reality and fact just because the conservative says it. Like, I think we've won the culture war if we have them taking shots of seed oil to protest, and that's actually what they're doing on TikTok now. That's the trend where it's like, see, seed oils aren't bad for you. And it's like, but that's the only thing I've been told. What happened to your hippie olive oil shit that we've been hearing about for the last decade? Yeah, olive oil's better for you. Instead, now it's like, nah, rapeseed's good. It has, like, some kind of fat that you need, but it's like, no, we're getting fat everywhere. That's the problem, is that all of our food is poison. That it's not like, oh, I can just avoid the seed oils if I think they're bad. It's like, they are bad, objectively, and grab any label. Like, right here, peanut butter. I was like, yo, I live off peanut butter because I do like that just thing, 2 spoons a day, and that's 400 calories. This is a meal right there. Yeah. And it's like, all right, what's in peanut butter? Vegetable oils, rapeseed, cottonseed, soybean. So, hydrogenated. Yeah, it's my peanut butter is hydrogenated oil blend. Why? We're dying.
The weird one that I remember probably like 10 years ago, and I don't remember exactly what it was before this, if it was just fried in vegetable oil or whatever, but the chips changed. They changed from some sort of oil to all being sunflower oil, and Lay's led the charge in changing all of it. And I don't remember exactly why they did that. I think it was health wise though.
Cheap.
I think it was
cheaper.
It's cheaper.
I don't even think it's for health. It seems like they moved to the cheaper, shittier alternative.
Yeah,
I think that's why everything tastes bad. Weird. Everything has hydrogenated cottonseed and vegetable oil in it, and now everything tastes bad. I think that even applies to the candy bars. Like, why does my Butterfinger taste horrible now? That's because it's all fat. It's all the shit that needs to be banned. And then leftists are going, nah, you guys are crazy. Conspiracy theories. These are completely healthy for you, as they inflate to 300 pounds and all their children are autistic.
Okay, so this might actually make sense why they changed it then. So Lay's switched to sunflower oil to significantly reduce the amount of saturated fats in their chips. Okay, I understand.
Saturated fats are the good ones, right? Trans fats are the bad ones.
I don't know. I think trans fat is absolutely horrible. Like, that's the worst one. But they opted for heart-healthy oil with higher levels of unsaturated, which is shit because that's fake, and polyunsaturated fats, which is also fake, and considered beneficial for cholesterol levels while maintaining the taste of the product.
Yeah, and it turns out like the whole fat studies and all that's just wrong anyways, so it's like sunflower is bad. I think canola oil is the best one for like the bad oils, and then like you want olive oil, canola oil, then maybe sunflower's third, but everything's bad and has oil that it doesn't need.
Yeah, it's just it's fucking weird. It's really fucking weird
because and Democrats
nobody's transparent about it.
And Democrats during the Obama era, that's all they ever talked about was getting rid of seed oils. And now we say it and they hate us. Trump derangement is wild. But I think that's how we know we won the culture war, when we have got them to reject reality that hard. And now the whole fluoride thing, like, oh, Alex Jones said fluoride, therefore it's automatically good. More fluoride. We need to just keep pumping it everywhere, even though it's like, but it's a completely unnecessary mineral. We do not need it for survival. Just brush your fucking teeth and use mouthwash. You don't need fluoride.
Yeah. No, and we even had that entire conversation back a couple months ago, where like it completely degrades a lot of the things that we're looking at. Yes, it increases fucking oral health, but it causes fucked up weird shit to happen with your brain.
IQ is down. Like, that's the thing where it's like IQ is down like 5 points from just the natural 1 milligram per liter. Is it 1 milligram per liter of fluoride in the water supply right now?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's a very high amount, or maybe yeah, it's a very high amount, and like that amount, the default amount they're putting in the water is lowering IQ by 5 points in pregnant women.
I'd love to see the difference in between people that are on wells that do not get fluoride and then people that are on city water that do.
Well, that's what these tests do, because it's like, oh, areas that just have less fluoride compared to ones that have more. You do the study, and it's like, wow, their kids actually just plummet in IQ.
It's so fucking interesting because,
yeah,
you know, back in the day, we were looking at the Republicans being the educated ones, like the ones that have college degrees, the ones that start businesses, and everything else because it's logical. Now we're seeing the people that are in school are Democrats, but at the same time, they might be the ones with lower IQ because of things like
that's actually already proven that the entry level for college degrees, like undergrad IQ, has fallen from like 110 to 100. So now every average idiot, well, 100 IQ ain't that great, and once you go below, then you're unsalvageable. So like, yeah, like, so now like people with 90 to 100 IQ are going to college, getting C grades, and then coming out with a degree and pretending they're smarter than everyone. That's actually like literally happening. The barrier of IQ has lowered for undergrads, and that's because the Democrats started flooding in. It's wild.
And as stupid as it sounds, both of us could go to college right now and literally do the half-assed work and not give a fuck and continue not changing anything we're doing, just show up and put in a little bit of effort to finish it, and we would still have at minimum the same grades they do.
Exactly. Like, not even try, not even learn anything. And that's another thing, like, I've been trying to show to my TDS friends, where it's like, hey, here's a Reddit post from 5 years ago before this became a culturally charged topic about people saying, like, I don't feel like I learned anything. It's like, because no one learns anything. You either go to university to get indoctrinated, or you don't get any life skills, and then you want your degree refunded by the government because you fucked up. And I think that also takes low IQ to get into, where if you just listen to your guidance counselor and everyone's saying, just go to college. Why? Just go. That's no inner monologue shit. That's sub 90 IQ that you don't have any abstraction, you can't think for yourself. I skipped college because I went, but if I use those 4 years to just work 80 hours a week, I can come out of that with tens of thousands of dollars and either buy a house for cheaper rent, or I can start a business. Or you just go to trade school. Go to trade school, get a $6,000 certification to become an electrician, 50K on the start. Boom.
Exactly. Like it's, and you can do that in high school.
Yeah.
Like
I got a year of vocation for free. I did game design, completely pissed it away, even though it kind of helped with like understanding gaming for YouTube. But anyone can do it. And then the Democrats turn around and they go, look at you dumb Republicans, we're more educated. It's like, what's your basis for education? More degrees. So the stupid people spending $100,000 and asking for it to be forgiven with a C average, they're the ones calling the person that went to trade school, started a business, and now employs 5 people and makes $1 million a year, the stupid ones, because they don't have a college degree, just arbitrarily.
And as stupid as it sounds, and I don't know if this is anecdotal or not, but if there was kids that they couldn't teach in normal school, they pushed them through the trade school programs. There was special schooling there for all the high school students that couldn't pass normal high school. So they legitimately pushed the kids that couldn't do through Votech, but they couldn't actually get the people that, you know, had a brain in their head actually to do the things that they needed to do. You guys said you guys were the smart ones. You guys said that everything was going to be okay if you guys got what you guys wanted. Guess what? Now the people like AOC and everything else are going through and actually withdrawing the woke virus shit, the woke shit that they were portraying everywhere. They're abandoning.
That's because it was just a grift. The entire thing.
Oh,
the entire thing was a grift. Also, if we want to talk about education, you look at Democrat cities, which have like incredibly high dropout rates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, inner cities perform worse in school. They don't even make it to college. But if you just go by the raw numbers of college graduates or percentages or whatever, it's like Democrats win. It's like, bro, you are the most unscientific, uneducated, just impossible to comprehend reality group right now, and it is getting frustrating.
Is the hardest thing to judge, and I will be 100% on that entire argument. You know what I'm saying? That's been my argument this entire time. There's so many kids that just drop out because their mom was a single mom or their dad was a single dad, and they're like, oh well, I have to provide for this family, so they go deal drugs, they go work at a fucking bodega or a fucking corner store and just try and make ends meet. But yet, guys, we're the ones who are failing them. Our government has failed them for the past 30 years because that's what, when you hear the number one pick of the draft, he doesn't thank his dad. He normally just says, thank you, mama, for bringing me, and I thank God. That's it.
Yep. Thank you, coach, for giving me a chance. Thank you for giving me the degree so I could make it into the collegiate program. Yeah, like that shit. It's the community focus that drives it. I know, but that's also like that's been the Republican position for decades, where it's like, hey, we need to clean up the inner cities. We need to find out what the problem is, and we need to get these people on the right track. Democrats just say, no, just throw welfare on them. They'll figure it out. And then that doesn't work.
Well, even in my experience, like living in a small city, dealing with that shit from time to time and being able to see that shit firsthand, there's a lot of things that you can genuinely realize. I was one of those kids that's like, I thank my mama for everything. My mama gets first thing. I protect my mom regardless of what happens and what's going on and what words I have to say to protect her. My job is to protect her. No, it's not. It should have been my stepdad's job to protect her. It should have been my dad's job to protect her. It should have been her dad's job to protect her. That's whose job it is, not her son.
Yeah, you get a lot of weird social dynamics when that happens, where like the son becomes the mom's best friend and then almost gets into like that protective boyfriend role over it.
And it's completely destroying the way families work. Because now if a stepdad goes into that situation, what happens? You have the kid that's protective over the mother. He steps out of line once. Then a fist fight happens in between her kid and him. He's out on the street now. It's insane.
Yeah.
The shit that has gone on is fucking insane.
And as we've seen from the last 12 out of 16 years being Democrat ruled, whatever they're doing ain't working. Giving $1 billion to immigrants doesn't help the people that need it, the citizens in the cities that need it the most. And then you say that, it's like, oh, you're just racist.
Honestly, stupid idea. Maybe absolutely butt-fucking stupid idea. But if we're going to give billions of dollars to people, whether we're talking about Ukraine, whether we're talking about the immigrants that were moving here, or whatever, why not try for a second and give that money to the people that are dealing with poverty? Does it fix the problem? Absolutely not. But we're already going to have an inflation problem because we're fucking printing money and giving it to everybody anyway.
Well, it goes back to the heat map finger paints that we talked about a couple episodes ago. Because Democrats want to help everyone. They spread their virtue across the world, and a rock and a tree on the other side of the world is as valuable as their own community to them, because everything must be perfect and utopic. Even the homicidal maniac from Venezuela that gets dropped out here and then lost in the system, they have as much rights and as much freedom to be here as someone actually needs it as a natural born citizen. To Democrats, I've had literally these conversations with my TDS friends where when I was like, hey, did you see that thing where Biden administration has 35,000 convicted murderers in this country right now from foreign countries? And he's like, well, we can't trust their criminal system. They belong here. My brain fucking melted out of my head.
The crazy part about that is like they take the Trump soundbite of they're not sending their best, they're sending their worst, they're emptying their asylums and prisons into our country.
That's true.
It's like he is speaking hyperbole. He's being exaggerative.
He's not. That's actually happening.
No, I agree with it. I'm not disagreeing with it. But even if he's speaking exaggeratively as a way to sell what he's saying, like, oh, they're eating cats and dogs. They did. He's being exaggerative to get the fucking point across to the people who will refuse to listen to what he's saying.
Well, the crazy thing is it starts out as exaggerative, and then people dig and they go, oh my God, he was like,
and then it meets the standard of what he's saying.
Yeah. Because he's like, oh, they're emptying the asylums. It's like, okay, Trump, even as a MAGA person, you might be just trying to drum up your base a little much. And then the thing comes out, it's like 200,000 violent criminals are in this country as illegals right now. It's like, he was right!
Exactly, and that's why I think some people have a hard time understanding or comprehending exactly what he's saying, because he is being exaggerative. Can you people just fucking understand that he's an exaggerative person? He's a dude that.
No, that means Trump lied 527 times during the debate.
Yeah, no, that's not how things work. Guess how many things were actually verified? Almost all of them.
Mm-hmm. And then Kamala was the one that lied about every point.
Yeah, it's just so weird. Like, and honestly, I will call Trump out for the bad things. I absolutely will. He is not going to be a person that's able to get across the line support. If there's somebody who did not support him at all, they're not going to fucking jump on the boat and be like, "Hey, let's go," unless he shows something, unless he does something that drastically impacts things, and then they have a question in their mind if they're going to understand and accept it or not.
I mean, that should have happened in 2016, but it didn't, where everyone was like, I'm getting more money back. My taxes are better. Everything's affordable. We can go on vacation this year under Trump. And then they still just can't accept, like, oh, but that's because Obama's administration carried over and we had good momentum from his policies. It's like, no, this is all of Trump's doing, and he was also doing a lot of work for the inner cities and trying to reduce the need of welfare to like poor communities. He actually has policies for that. Biden did nothing.
So if you look at 2021, and I'll compare it to 2021 because I started this job. The job that I'm doing now, you have PK, you have online work and stuff like that, which was all of my income other than my workers' comp stuff from my neck. I made more that year. Well, I made less that year and got more back than I did for the past 3 years that I was working. It was around 6 to 7K before Trump was in office. After Trump was in office and his tax things hit in 19, 20, and 21, you have an increase by about 20%. Just with the kids' tax credits, just with the availability of what those things do.
And everyone was saying that. But then it was just depending on your level of derangement, where it's like, thanks, Obama, in 2019.
Like, okay, if you want to give Obama credit for that, I understand he might have a part in it. But you also have to give Trump, who signed into legislation so many of those tax cuts, an increase in that funding to give.
And also the China tariffs just strengthening our economy. Like, he did so much while Biden is in Hawaii and we have no idea what's going on. Or Kamala's in Hawaii, Biden's in the Amazon. No one's been running this country for the last 2.5 years.
Oh my God. That fucking video of Biden in the Amazon. Cut to it, Zach. You're good at this. When I fucking saw that, I was like, why the fuck is there nobody behind him? Where the fuck did he go? Did he just walk off into the fucking jungle? Is this going to be like a Logan Paul thing where we just stumble into the fucking jungle and see Joe fucking hanging there by an anaconda? Like, what the fuck is going on? Because that's not fucking okay. You just let a senile guy walk into the jungle and he has no fucking idea where he is, and he's the wrong color to be there. We have big problems now.
Yeah, you wouldn't let if your grandpa was in his shape, you wouldn't let him alone at Walmart. So yeah, like the entire thing's fucked, and like somehow it's still just everything is Trump bad. And you look at his appointments; the appointments are straight fire.
Honestly, and I don't know if this is just Woody kind of selling me on it. The only one that I don't fully agree with is Matt Gaetz.
I like
understand
Gaetz.
It. I like Gaetz too. But if what he is accused of happened, I understand why you probably shouldn't nominate him. I like him as a person, though.
But it's like it's all the fake accusations we've seen so much. Like that got dismissed, and I think someone on The View, one of the co-hosts called him like a pedo, and then what happened was they had to make a legal retraction. Like Whoopi Goldberg was like, "We have a legal note before we cut to the commercial break," because their lawyers shat a brick when they went off on like the allegations, and then it was like Matt Gaetz' team has instructed us that everything was like completely exonerated, and we need to remind people that he is innocent.
And that's exactly how it should be. Like the proof of guilt or proof of innocence should be the thing that fucking matters. It just should.
That's so
I completely agree with that, but it was not talked about at the same level as the allegation, and that's where the problem is.
Yeah, and that's why you think like, oh, maybe Gaetz did it, and then it's like, I didn't even know it was like dropped, gone. There's nothing lingering anymore.
Like, and that one to me is the hardest one. And I like Gates. I genuinely do.
I love him on Tim Pool. He's dialed in. He's like an even more crazy Vance.
Oh, I love Vance.
Oh yeah. Every time Vance talks, I'm more in love with him too. Like I found out about the whole parole program, and we were talking about it, and then he brought it up at the debate. I'm like, he's got it. This is my man. I love him.
I think Vance goes to president next time.
Oh, he's got to.
That is who we run 100%. The question is we have 2 picks for VP. We have 2 very, very, very good picks for VP.
Tulsi?
Do we give him the Trump rub again, and it's Don Jr.? Or does it go Vivek?
I was thinking Tulsi Vivek as like the Vance VPs. I would be happy with like Tulsi being the first woman president.
Oh, I think I would too. But it's interesting the allegations that are on her too.
I haven't even heard of that.
I guess this is
we've already said allegations. We're not like crazy trying to find anything. It's like, okay, let's make sure she's clean.
Like, supposedly she's talking about Russian talking points and everything else. And it's iffy because how many people now have come out and said, oh yeah, I was receiving that money. It's hard not to be like, yeah, well, everybody kind of does.
Well, that whole like Russian funding thing, if you just look into it, it's like it's just so many shell corporations that like no one's taking money from Russia knowing it's from Russia.
I'll say a crazy thing. Fucking crazy and off the wall. If Russia came to us and was like, we'll pay you $2,000 an episode, guess what? There wouldn't be a fucking missing episode ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to provide monetary value to create something, regardless of what it is, and it's still within your wheelhouse, why are we shitting on anybody? This is the same shit that happened when Scuff started becoming a sponsor to people. When this or that, like, if you're not dictating what the content is, then there is zero reason for them to be like, oh, well, they're Russian plans. And that's me being honest about it.
Well, that's what I'm like trying to think about. It's like, I think it's the same rule as any sponsor. If a sponsor makes you break like your moral code or what you want to say, then like if you just go for the money, then that's what makes you bad. But if they're just like, hey, we like what you're doing, here's some money. I'm like, okay. I mean, that's not going to influence anything. I'm not going to go pro-Russia, and we're still going to be critical when it comes up. But also, like, and it's just so. And then you have to think about the propaganda, because the left is so heavily propagandized. It's like, yes, Russia bad for invading. What?
Both sides are.
I know, but I'm trying to like unravel it, because somehow throughout the entire chain of history, communism isn't seen as bad as Nazis. It's like, wait a second, no. It's we need to flip that back.
The even crazier part is, think of the money that was going to Democrats and Facebook and everything else from not only our government, but I assumption here, China.
Definitely China. No assumption.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we see it even with people like LeBron James or John Cena. They received money in order to speak positively about them in the problems with Taiwan.
That's crazy. They are enslaving an entire country, and and Russia's the bad one. In the propaganda war.
So positive on the Russia side. Putin came out today and says they will talk openly about a ceasefire as long as Trump leads the conversation.
Yeah. I mean, that was like actually day one. He was like, talk to Putin. We're getting Zelensky in. We're going to figure this out after like the nominations. Like, duh. Yeah. Oh, that was another thing about the derangement, where it's like that whole list of things that happened in like the first 48 hours, where it's like he appointed that one woman, so misogyny debunked. He's already restoring peace. All the terrorist groups just immediately folded, and then I was just like, okay, so why is Trump bad? He got like the aura of Trump is so powerful that like nature is healing and the world is becoming better, and then he just couldn't take it. He's just like, oh, all it proves is the Russian docket was right, or some shit. It's like, that's what I mean. Like, I think the problem is we have to unwind the last 20 years of the culture war being dominated by leftists because of the power of social media and stuff propagandizing them, where we lost track of like how things are. And then also our institutions. That, remember, back in 2013, we had people like Sargon of Akkad talking about how we were getting indoctrinated through our education system, and then that's the whole thing that goes back to what was that one guy?
It even goes to things like your media. You have Nickelodeon with all of the essay allegations that they dealt with.
Yeah.
All of the inappropriate things they had in our shows. You have Disney Channel with the same thing. Like all of the children that are adults now have seen things that are absolutely not acceptable in any circumstances, even on like super, super, super little kid shit.
Yeah. Well, who was that one Russian that was talking about like the playbook for taking over our culture in like the 80s
I know
or 90s?
exactly what you're talking about, but I can't remember his name either.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, you just listen to that, and that should like be the anti-propaganda where it's like Russia is telling the Democrats exactly how they convinced them to hate America, and then weird stuff just kind of happened.
Communists told us how communists hate America and how exactly it works. And then we have people that are leading the Democrat Party that are communist using the same exact rhetoric as a way to indoctrinate the youth again. Honestly,
Yuri Bezmenov. That's what I thought. I was like Bezmenov, but I didn't want to confuse that with something else. Whatever Yuri Bezmenov said about it, it was like the playbook.
The biggest and craziest thing that absolutely blew my mind was the fascist comments. Was for the past 4 or 5 months we've heard Trump is a Nazi, Trump is Hitler, Trump is a Nazi, Trump is fascist, and that's not fucking okay.
Well, now they're all undoing it. They're just like, it was kind of like when Kamala jabbed at Joe Biden. They were just like, it was just the debate. That's just how you talk. It's like, oh my god, the entire party is just liars and hate. And then whenever it gets like, whenever it turns against them, they just go, we were just playing. You know, you just got to banter like that.
Like regardless of if you're Jimmy No Shirt down the street or somebody who's in the top of the Democrat Party, you cannot do that. You cannot demonize somebody and make them into this big, crazy negative force in your mind that you cannot accept.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you guys complained about in 2016 and 2020. You guys said, "Oh, I couldn't agree with Trump. He's not my president because Hillary." Guess what? People saw Hillary just as bad as people see Trump currently. Guys, if we keep going down this path, if we keep saying that this person's Hitler, this person's a madman, guys, they showed you this when Bush went to war. They showed you this when we got Gaddafi out of Egypt or Syria. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've done this 15 fucking times during just our lifetime. They're doing the same thing again, over and over and over again. And if you don't understand the game that is played, you are going to get played by the game.
Yeah, now also going back to like the whole propaganda thing, we have Leica's kind of fucked up right now. She had like a rash on her tail. Yeah, that was a cone.
Shame.
Yeah, she got a rash on her tail. Come over here. Trying to. Yeah, we can zoom out.
Yep, I got you.
Yeah, she got a rash on her tail and like a chunk of fur popped off, so they had to shave it. She's fine. She just needed antibiotics, but like that shit's scary when they, like, because she's a hyper dog. Like you aren't going to be able to touch a husky's tail without them fucking losing their shit. So they had to put her under just to shave her tail and like clean it up and see what's going on, make sure it wasn't like really bad. Because I was like, look, don't have to put her under. Just take a look at her tail and give me antibiotics so we can get out of here. They're like, nah, we gotta.
Can't do this.
And the scary thing is, like, there's not a high chance, but a strangely high enough chance that your dog just dies from the anesthetic. What do you guess? Like, what do you guess the odds of like a dog dying from just going KO'd on anesthesia?
You're gonna say that it's obnoxiously higher than this, but 25 to 33%.
Oh no, it's definitely not that high. But like, it's one of those things where like you're thinking, oh, an anomaly, like 1 in 10,000, 1 in 50,000. That's just like a normal thing.
Higher than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's for the comment section to because like you think like, oh, you just, you know, people go out for surgery all the time and they wake up at 99,100,000 out of a million of the time. But with dogs, it's actually like a 0.2% chance.
But there's
1 in 500.
There's more to that with people actually, because there's so many different medications they can use for it, because you can be allergic to the main one. And if you're allergic to the main one and don't know, there's a chance you don't fucking wake up.
Yeah.
There's a chance you're on a vent. There's a chance you go through all of that shit.
But it's still like
just because you
very low.
Yeah.
And like you'd imagine for a dog, it's going to be the same. Where it's like it should be very low. Okay, you're just crazy.
The smaller something is, the more likely
But you just give it a smaller dose. Things. And also, it's like a dog. It's potentially, or you would assume, a less complex system to just be like, just narc out the dog, and then instead of having to like super duper put someone under so you can do open heart surgery on them. She just need to go to sleep.
Vets aren't my autism.
Yeah,
just not my tism at all. But honestly, I would assume that they use relatively similar medication to put them down that they do to put them to sleep. So I would assume that it gets.
No, it's not that. Because what they do when they put a dog down is they put them to sleep with that, and then they just give them a lethal something. Yeah. So they don't even feel it. They just get tired and then they're dead, and that's going to be very sad in a couple of years. But the thing is, like, you think, okay, normal procedure to just like knock out a dog to do whatever to them should be safer than 1 in 500 chance they die. Like 1 in 500 is right in that realm of I'm unlucky enough for that to happen because my dog has a rash on her tail. So that freaked me out. But she came back.
Definitely. I would shit myself too.
Yeah, and that's why like
always something stupid.
Like a 1 in 500 is if she didn't wake up, and this was a couple days ago, it's like I killed my dog over a rash. It's not like a freak like, oh, 1 in 10,000, damn, I got very unlucky. It's we didn't have to do this. That risk is too high for my dog. But she's fine, and that was just like a freak out thing. But going back to the indoctrination with like Evergreen College. Everyone was talking about Evergreen College 2014. We're seeing it happening. It's crazy. And then, like, at some point, because the left has dominated the entire talking points because of social media, it's gotten flipped where it's like, oh yeah, I guess we're not allowed to talk about how communism is objectively worse than fascism. But no. And communists are allowed to run around and preach. But if you see anyone try to be a supremacist online, they get shut down by everyone. Like, whenever they do those Nazi rallies, all the comments are feds. Like, get these feds out of here. Look at that. Their flags are fresh store-bought, still have the creases in them. We don't accept you. But the commie starts talking on social media, and the left just praises him. We need to flip that shit around. Well, actually not flip it, because, like, no acceptance for either group. How about that?
Both of them are the fucking same.
Yeah.
And you see it with the comment to Wings. Wings, what do you think National Socialism works? It's like, buddy, it's the same fucking thing. It's all the same fucking thing. Both extremes meet in the middle at some point.
The horseshoe theory. It's horseshoe fact.
It really is. Like,
well, you eventually get to 10 out of 10 genocidal evil.
Yeah, so fuck all of them. Fuck all of them.
Yeah. But for some reason, communism is viewed... Yeah, communism viewed infinitely more favorably. When it should never be that way. It doesn't make sense. We're in a clown world.
Well, you have the massive problems that communism and socialism has caused in Russia. You have China. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many answers for both of them.
The crazy thing that you can't get a leftist to understand is that it's the same thing, except it's just, do you indoctrinate, or do you intern other people, or do you intern your own people? What?
Or do you say that, I said, do you use the population saying that they own everything, or does the government own everything? That's the only difference.
I'm not talking about that, because, like, yeah, socialism is the collective and communism is the government, but it never works out that way. What I'm talking about is the difference between, like, Nazism and communism killing people, where genocide versus your own people. And I think killing your own people in a higher degree is worse. So, like, that's, what Germany did, 10 out of 10. What China did, 10.5 out of 10 evil.
Yeah. So I saw this literally right before we started recording. Elon Musk has decided to sue Twitch.
I didn't want to go off the commie talk yet, even though it's probably safer. Well,
yeah,
okay.
I figured it was safer, and we're treading into that territory of like, oh, we need to start having a philosophical conversation.
That's the interesting thing, because I love learning, and that's another thing about the willful ignorance that you find on the left because of Trump derangement, is I was like, you know what? Let me try to understand. Let me actually, like, I legitimately have been researching socialism just to see, like, just to, one, debunk them. Like, if they try to say something like, oh, you claim for socialism, but actually this goes against the collective theory number 3, and that just kind of shows like you don't know what you're talking about. So one, like winning in debate bro shit, and two, just kind of like figuring it out. And my overall takeaway from this, socialism's retarded. Because and my bigger takeaway is its peasant mentality, that instead of having infinite ambition to create your own enterprise, you want the collective to give you your seeds, give you your cow, and then give you your parcel of land, and then cap whatever's going on. Like,
you want to see the craziest thing? Is it's happened here. That mentality, the whole give me shit, is the inner city.
Well, that's why Democrat cities, and that's why we're in the democratic socialism part. And see, that's why I thought it was fascinating to take this dive to really understand it. And then you also understanding it, like what happens is the benefit is the floor is raised, that there is going to be less poverty because everyone's taken care of, but then your ceiling is completely clamped. So you're stuck in this small bandwidth, and that's why you will own nothing, but you'll be happy. And I'm just like,
you'll be nothing.
What?
I said, and you will be nothing, and you will like it.
Well, I'm talking about like the actual theory, where in a successful socialist society, you will own nothing, but you'll be happy because all of your needs are taken care of. You have your house, you have your farmland, you have your guaranteed job, and then you can keep a little bit of excess for yourself. And that's why democratic socialism doesn't work, because the person that wants to work twice as much as you to keep twice as much can't have them in the system, comrade. And then the reason why it always turns into communism is because people get tired of not being able to have a yacht when you're looking over there at Freedom Land with people flying around on jets and launching, owning an acreage of tigers that they can shoot whenever they want or some shit like whatever's going on in Texas. It's like, that looks like fun. I wish I had more money so I could afford things instead of just like live. It's peasant mentality.
And, we have two of the biggest new age kind of, they've grown from nothing kind of people in front of us. You have Elon Musk, who's he's the richest person in the fucking world. He's from fucking South Africa, and he's grown his ass off in the United States. And then you have Vivek, who is also another immigrant and has grown his ass off, just working his ass off. And just
the interesting thing
everybody
is with Dr. Oz, because he's like a recent nomination from Trump. Dr. Oz is the son of Turkish immigrants that became a Harvard grad. So it like debunks everything where it's like anti-science, but he's a Harvard grad. He also got millions of dollars in funding to be syndicated on television for his research. So he's well educated and well studied, and he's also Muslim. Where's all your everything about Trump and conservatives is just debunked by his appointings.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane, and it's stupid.
And then the last thing,
I want to bash my head off the keyboard.
Yeah, and then the last thing about the socialism, where I can also see like the idea of the theory is if everyone can work up together, where like you can raise the ceiling and then pull up the floor and then go for infinite production. But you know what's better? Capitalism. Where you do it faster with more opportunity through capitalism. And if we're going to waste billions in welfare, we might as well put it towards our people to pull them up, even though conservatives are traditionally against that. We need to do something about this.
No, and that's been my exact point. Like, Trump's tent city thing is crazy. It sounds like Hoovervilles all over again. And I will absolutely call that out and call it as blankly as I see it. But why are we letting the homeless affect and hurt our cities?
Well, I mean, why do we have homeless crime cities instead of government-funded tent cities? At least that might help someone.
Still a tent city. Like, let's just move them. But there is still a positive to it. They're now going to have a place where they can actually call home.
That's it's a funded tent city. It's a little better off.
But as a whole,
I saw something where they shut down a tent commune or like some kind of city where it was like, they have fresh running water and they were able to build houses and they made all of this set up, and then the government tore it down, and it was actually just like a couple of just pieces of stolen wood put together, and they were like illegally stealing generators and gasoline, and they like siphoned off a creek or something, and the left was praising it as like, see, this is what happens when you don't have the government and the police oppression coming in. People build their own societies, and it was just like the most ratty shambles shit.
Even if it is the most ratty shambles shit, if 50 homeless people bought together and was like, okay, we're going to build this plot of land. And it's like just a fucking abandoned lot in the middle of a city. And they're like, hey, we don't have much, but this is our shithole. We bought this for $10,000 and pulled together the money that they panhandled for. And then they just built shit out of like the scraps that they find everywhere. I would applaud it.
Yeah,
I would
that'd be
say that's
great.
fucking cool.
That'd be really cool.
But no, that's not what they're
Yeah,
doing.
they waste it on drugs and then steal everything, and then they build their tent city on someone else's land. Society.
It's just stupidity, man. It really is. Like, there's no way to be excited about it. There's no way to be happy about it because everybody's just pants on head fucking retarded.
Yeah. Now we can talk about suing Twitch.
Okay, so Elon Musk has sued Twitch for allegedly conspiring to boycott ads. So currently, I know you haven't been streaming on Twitch. You've been streaming on YouTube. But did you see the adpocalypse that happened to Twitch?
Yeah, finally it's happening. God, Twitch has needed an adpocalypse for the last like 7 years. All these thought streamers deliberately giving softcore content to children.
Not even thoughts.
How is that not it?
Not even Twitch hoes. It's not Twitch
I know.
hoes.
That's not what did it. It was Hassan being anti-Semitic.
It's Hassan and that dude Frogan. It's a chick, not a dude. That person Frogan, who said some absolutely deplorable ass, disgusting.
Oh, my TDS friend's also defending Hassan. Because I'm like, why is it that Hassan just like screams and yells instead of gives a position? And it's like, Hassan actually has some really good points sometimes. I'm like, give me one. And then he's just like, oh, you guys are just strawmanning him over the whole 9/11 comments. It's like he says stuff like that every stream. Proof? Source?
On everything. Then says something crazy and then fence sits again and says that you're crazy if you don't agree with his crazy.
Yeah, the gaslighting I'm so tired of, which is why we need an adpocalypse.
It's absolutely insane. So this is where it gets weird to me is I don't understand why Musk is suing Twitch for conspiring to boycott advertisement. Because if they're having an adpocalypse right now, they're losing their ad placement. So was just Twitch removing Twitter ads or charging them a different?
Well, I don't know, but apparently something legal was happening there. That's another thing where it's like, oh, your boy Elon losing 30 billion off of X because he's completely terrible, and all the advertisers.
Twitch withdrew essentially money that they were placing ads on Twitter.
Okay, that's actually something I'm researched on because I have everything covered when I'm trying to beat up my TDS friends. So it's like what happens is there's like other advertising collective groups that pull for the sake of like those companies, and they're doing it in actually illegal ways. So Elon Musk has every right to sue them, but then left says like, see, Elon needs to sue innocent people because his platform is failing so hard and he's hemorrhaging money. It's like, no, this is actually like illegal FCC or FTC or whatever, FCC for communications, I guess. It's like FCC advertising practices are being illegally violated to harm X, so you get to gloat about how X is harmed. He has legal recourse.
Yes, it says Elon Musk filed a lawsuit against the members of the Global Alliance of Responsible Media with claims that they worked together to boycott the platform. The lawsuit alleges that companies within the alliance illegally banded together to withhold billions of dollars of advertising revenue from the platform formerly known as Twitter, which Elon Musk purchased back in October 22.
See, I'm dialed in on this shit, and it's not just Twitch. It's everything. It's like McDonald's and General Mills and stuff. That's because of like it's not them. It's not General Mills going, that's too racist and alt-right over there, we can't afford it. It's like, no, it's someone else. It's another company holding the bag of money for the ads, making those decisions illegally. And then people attack Elon over it. It's crazy.
This comes as the Amazon-owned platform is facing claims of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia on the platform. Twitch CEO Dan Clancy issued a statement regarding that the claims on November 1st, making it clear the platform stands firmly against hate and harassment in any form.
That's a fucking lie.
I've been doxxed on Twitch.
I mean, you just go on to any debate bro happening right now, and you're going to hear anti-white sentiment, and like anti-Semitic comments, anything. It's always just going to be hate. You're going to see. Well, actually, Destiny got banned because he was just saying like Trump supporters need to die or some shit. So
it's insane. No, it was the firefighter that died. He was
Yeah,
making the
no, but
most
but he
comments
says
about it.
that about all Trump supporters. He's like, hey, if you're at a rally and take a bullet, I have no sympathy for you. It's like, okay, but that's just the common discourse because Twitch has become radicalized. So yeah, good.
So
Get adpocked.
X's biggest and newest, competitor has risen. I guess it is called Blue Sky. It is the new Twitter.
It's been around for a while, but after Trump won, the lefties just had to flee X, and now they're all on Blue Sky. It's hilarious.
So surprisingly, I know you have a topic about this, but it has passed Threads, which is Meta's version of Twitter,
Yeah.
which is surprising. I thought that a lot of those lefties and stuff would stay within that ecosystem. They kind
Threads
of
was
like
just awful.
Instagram.
It was like hard to use. The algorithm was terrible. It was effectively the metaverse of social media, where it's just like it's just a bad platform. No one's ever going to use it, regardless of the statements or the sentiment.
Surprisingly, it was still getting 2 million daily visitors as of yesterday when it got passed by Blue Sky.
That's trash for social media these days.
Oh, absolutely. But it's, we were looking at True Social as about the same.
Yeah, but when you
What,
think
like
about
6, 8
like
months ago?
something meta owned, like half of that is going to be from like Asia. It's going to be
And
Indians,
people just
Indonesia,
built in.
Singapore, and Malaysia and stuff. Because I see that a lot on Facebook now, where you just like see different people from mostly like South Asia.
A weird thing that happens here is there will be towns that will have similar names. And because they don't pay enough attention, it will all of a sudden start suggesting Middle Eastern fucking towns to move to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, there's sand there. There is no way in hell that is anywhere close to here. That is a sand yard. That is not here. That's not
Yeah.
New York. I promise you. No way.
Well, also that just kind of like goes to the emergence of the internet to these areas as well. That they're just going to go to the largest social media platforms and they're going to be behind it. So it's kind of like Facebook becoming old MySpace and then all of these like new emerging internet users going to MySpace of our time. We're just like, wow, that's why AI is blowing up because they've never been exposed to a propagandized algorithm that's going to send them fake content 24/7. So they see Shrimp Jesus and they just go, beautiful. Wow, the internet is such a magical, fascinating place. And then they turbo the algorithm to more people in their area.
As stupid and as boomerish as it sounds, I fucking miss MySpace. MySpace was superior to Twitter and Facebook for like 90% of things.
The reason why it failed though is because it was organic. You can't have an organic platform. Everything needs to be perma-scroll, infinite algorithm, guidance, whatever.
Well, there was no like homepage that actually made sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like even if you followed people or had connections with bigger accounts or whatever, there was still nothing to do after
It was
you had.
impossible to engage with.
Yeah.
With like you just go on someone, it's just like their page is just random people posting on their board and all this other stuff, and then music is playing. Like it was wacky, but there was no retention.
I'm surprised at cohesiveness that, oh, here, put a song on your profile. Here, use
Mm-hmm.
HTML and create your own profile. I'm surprised that Twitter hasn't done those things.
Well, that was back
Honestly.
when people like to use the internet and build a website, you had to be good at it. You had to know what you were
Yeah.
doing. Now everyone's just doing like AI scripting for half-ass shit, or they're making inefficient code. Whereas if you go to the earlier sites, like that's why shit worked back in the day. Those programmers actually cared and tried
Well, that's what's interesting to
and
me
weren't
is
outsourced.
how customizable MySpace was and the fact that nobody's caught on to that level at all. Like
Well,
even
that's
if you
because
just
again,
had,
it's against the perma scroll. It's against profit.
I don't know, it seems like it brings your part of the world back to like customizable. Like
Mm-hmm.
look at how profiles on YouTube even looked back in the day. Now look at
Yeah,
them. They are so different. It is so much more boring, so much more uniform. You cannot do anything different. You cannot change the
exactly.
way it looks.
You explained why we can't have MySpace because you're not allowed to have freedom. You're not allowed to open up your pineal gland and create something cool for yourself. You must be put into the commie box.
Dude, I fucking loved doing that shit. I genuinely did.
The totalit or not Unitarian, I think is what it is.
Utilitarian.
Utilitarian, exactly. You must be stuck in the utilitarian box of
Everything
is
is
your
black
little...
and gray, except being black and gray. That is all we are.
You are in your
No.
cement box of a YouTube profile, and if you the 3% expression you have inside of it is what you must use to like exploit the YouTube algorithm.
And it's just like, no, you press a button if I decide to get views or not. It is completely dependent on what you decide to press, you fucking weirdo.
We say on YouTube being suppressed.
Yep. Actively. Thanks, guys.
Well, that's because of me. I told you, like, bringing me on means we're not going to have growth.
We have. If we haven't missed as many shows, honestly, we're like 10% ahead of where we should be. We're uploaded like a half of what we're supposed to. And growth
like I said, we need
we're...
more bangers, because like if we upload twice as much but put like 3 sad, lazy episodes along the way, that's worse than where we're at now.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree. There's zero reason for it not to be agreed to. So, as far as these fucking
Blue
idiots,
Sky, yeah.
Yeah. So, what is happening with AI over there? Is it just the shit that's going on Twitter? What is
You need
going
to
on?
pull up the actual
link?
Blue Sky post I gave you.
I
Because
got it.
I've been on... Bro, I am so dialed in. I beat JD Vance to the parole program. I beat everyone to the Facebook AI, where I was like, this house looks a little funny. And not boomers. My mom wasn't sharing this on Facebook. It was all the people I added back in high school that are now just kind of like having that cottagecore cabin daydreaming. That, like, look, that looks like a real fucking picture, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely does.
AI.
Yep.
And that's why I was catching on, like, there's a little bit of weirdness going on. So we already brought this up on this show like a year ago for Facebook.
Yep.
And it's the same shit. You post Shrimp Jesus, all the comments, beautiful, wonderful, wow, amazing, inspiring. It's fake. And then this is happening on Blue Sky. Look at how many likes.
Yep.
31,000 likes. If we're going off of the how Twitter works, where it's like 1 to 2% is a good like ratio, that's millions of views. That is the first thing I saw when I went to Blue Sky, like the Blue Sky Discover page. I'm like, okay,
a channel already with 80,000 fucking followers.
Because that's the top thing on the algorithm. If you go to Blue Sky without an account, that's going to be one of the first things you see. And that's how I found it. And that's in like their Discover. So I'm just like, wow, look at that. All these idiots move on over to Blue Sky and they immediately get farmed like Facebook boomers.
Somebody.
Some people are on it. But that's kind of like the thing about it, where Facebook, like, everyone's like, oh, boomers are bad, Facebook boomers spreading disinformation and stuff, AI's bad, bots are bad. 90% of Blue Sky comments are bots saying beautiful. The rest are millennials falling for the Facebook AI generations. Congratulations, you played yourself.
They're playing themselves right out of the fucking game is what they're doing. And
then it also kind of shows like, oh, all these users on Blue Sky, half of it's botted. Oh, wait, Elon, Twitter's bad, X is bad because I get bot replies every time. It's worse on Blue Sky. It's worse on every other platform. The fucking... What's that fallacy? Recency bias. The recency bias, because people forget Twitter was worse with bots before Elon Musk bought it. That it was completely inorganic.
Are come look at my asshole, here's my OnlyFans.
Yeah. And you can't stop that.
No, you can't.
Yeah. So that's why I mean, like, why are you upset at Elon? Because it's impossible to stop botting activity. We're already dead internet started in 2016. We're 8 years in dead internet. It's probably been a decade of dead internet. You can't stop the bots. And then you go to a new platform. They don't have the experience dealing with bots. Twitter refused to deal with bots to pump their numbers. Blue Sky's not going to do anything about bots to pump their numbers. Only Elon is caring because he wants a real internet again. God damn, I hate everything.
No, it's absolutely fucking right. It's absolutely fucking right that, he is the only one that's actually standing up and fucking saying something. And it's insane. I don't fucking get it.
Mm-hmm. I saw a CNN report where it used to be like 70%, 30% Democrats, Republicans on Twitter, and now on X it's like 50-50. It is perfectly bipartisan, but in a bipartisan fair space, when you don't have an echo chamber, everything's far right, Nazi this, Nazi that, and it's just wild. Where it's like, oh, Twitter is the most fair social media platform. CNN is admitting to this, and people can't cope.
It's fucking insane, man. And the fact that Blue Sky is already getting overrun by this only has 3,000 fucking 3 million people a day.
3 million people a day, 80,000 followers on like a front page thing that's just posting AI because that's just how stupid people are.
Any content creators, like actual content creators, like the people that work with us, YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. If you want contact with them, go to every news site that they post about and say, "Oh, I'm going to go here." Because guess what? Most new websites do not close your DMs. So they're automatically open. Most people do not look at their settings. If you want to actually have an interaction with one of these people, going to the new sites is one of the best ways to have weird, different connections that you never expected to have.
That is how I met the singer of the Pokemon theme song.
I tried to get in touch with him to get him on this show.
He was on Minds, and I got like into that early wave of Minds when Tim Pool was like super promoting it. And Jason Page, that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and I don't know. I think he actually like found because I spent like a couple of Minds tokens to like promote one of my Pokemon contents, and then I was just like, holy shit! Jason Page responded to my like Pokemon promoted content, and he is based as fuck. I think he's actually maybe a little too far QAnon from what he was posting on Minds.
He seemed like he would be one of the cool guys just to have a chat with.
Yeah.
Like,
I hit him up in DMs a couple times. So I'm just like, wow, it's cool that you're here, and I like that you're actually able to speak your mind, which is not what you expect from the current state of the Pokemon company being completely DEI.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, he's one of the people that I reached out to that never answered me, actually.
Dang.
That's one of the few people.
But yeah, I stopped using Minds. I don't even know if he still uses it before like any of that. Try reaching out to him again.
I will.
Yeah, like we got a based podcast over here.
No, I reached out to him after you joined, actually. Probably like 8 months ago or so. It's just funny.
Was he active on where you were reaching out, maybe?
I reached out to him. He posted a short on Facebook, I believe, or a reel on Facebook.
There's no way he's responding to Facebook.
Nope, but his messages were open. So, you try and cash in all those because that's what you should do if you have a business and you're trying to get
maybe there. Find a website and just email him. That's probably the best way.
But he seems like one of those people where it's like, okay, you're a part of this, but at the same time, you actually could do something that's interesting and have an interesting conversation. So this fucking comment came up on Twitter, and I thought it was fucking interesting, so I saved it a while ago. This dude posted and asked, my teenage brother interviewed for a job at McDonald's. They asked him why he wants to work there and why he chose McDonald's specifically. What is an expected answer from a teenager looking for an after-school job selling burgers?
This is also why I hate what's like the employment area has become because of the overuse of getting degrees. Because like now everything in like corporate America is so scripted. Like you have to play by their interview game regardless if it makes any sense or not. So it actually is one of those things where it goes back into you're just churning out midwits to repeat the script, and then that's how you get hired because you don't like express anything. So there's probably an exact textbook answer that some manager was looking for with that. But if you're actually like an ambitious person, it's like, I want to learn some new skills. I want to actually like develop how to work and just understand and broaden my stuff. But there's probably like a super stupid like correct answer to that.
Well, I think the other part of it is every single business now, other than like super small.
McDonald's is asking that question instead of Google. What the fuck?
McDonald's is asking that question because they assume that you're not going to fucking leave McDonald's. They're trying to say that you're going to treat this as a career and you're coming here because you want to be here. No, McDonald's. Nobody wants to work at McDonald's. And if they do, they're probably not going to leave. I understand your point. Maybe they just want to be able to get a free large fry a day. Yeah. Maybe that's the only reason. And if you hear that as their answer, you're probably not going to like it very much. You're probably going to be missing some fries.
like I understand, and also I think the problem with asking questions like that is because the people that are taught how to respond to that textbook answer, they're the ones that are going to get hired, even though those are the disingenuous ones. But then the honest people can also be like, dude, I just need the money, but I'm not going to hire that because like, well, you're just going to phone it in, and you're not even going to try because like the labor force is fucked, but it's also fucked because people are giving scripted answers to those kinds of questions. You're not finding the organic workers that just want to try and work like I did when I was growing up.
There's no fucking in between. None.
Yeah.
And it's fucking
And that
insane.
question does not filter. So that's the stupid thing about the question. I don't care about the answer, or like you're looking for someone says, I want to be a McDonald's manager one day and maybe even use that money to buy my own franchise because I love McDonald's. It saved me when I was a child. Like, now, you're not going to find those people.
A teenager that says, hey, I see this as something that I can do until I'm done with college. Because that's kind of what all the starting jobs kind of became.
College red flagged me because, like, you're going to be too busy, you're only going to be part-time, and you're going to be tired every time you're here.
But that's still, like, if they said, hey, I want to do this until I'm done with college, maybe become a manager for a little bit, who knows what comes from there. I could understand.
That is better than
and stuff
most
like
of the bums I worked with when I was doing fast food, poisoning people with bleach.
There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that anybody's saying that. No fucking way at all. It's a fucking game, man. It's a fucking game.
Like I said, you have to know, and you have to be given the textbook. If you're not, you're at a disadvantage, but the textbook doesn't make you a better person or a better candidate, and that's why every hiree sucks and all my food is cold and shitty and made wrong because no one cares.
Yeah. Why did Donald Trump give people warmer fries than the ones that I got 2 fucking weeks ago? That were
and then the
fucking rock.
And then the people that like me when I was in it, I didn't care where I was at. I wanted to work because I needed the money and I wanted to start my life. I came from nothing, so getting a $200 check was like more money than I've ever held in my entire life. That's infinite when you're 19, 18. And you've never had money before, so I was happy to do it. I worked 100. Okay, not 100%. I worked at least 90% every shift, even when I was doing fast food, even when I was flipping pizza and stocking shelves, because I was doing it to earn my money. I was doing it as a job.
As stupid as it sounds.
But those people are getting skipped over for these stupid questions because managers think they're going to find someone that works and the turnover goes up because they're putting away people like me, and then we're stuck. The immigrants are getting our welfare. It's fucked.
When I was working at fucking Subway, man, like it showed me how to do what I do today, like at a stupid fucking level. Because when you have a fucking line of people, you're by yourself.
I want to build discipline and learn life skills and learn how to work.
The only thing you can do is work as fast as you possibly can, hand-eye coordination wise.
Start my independence.
Keep everybody entertained and tell them stories or tell them what the fuck's wrong and why you're by yourself. Like being a human and showcasing that to somebody else. That's a skill a lot of people don't fucking have anymore. And guess where I fucking learned it? Subway. Because you get a line of fucking 5 people and you're by yourself and it fucking sucks balls.
I think that's actually how I landed my Toys R Us job. Like, it wasn't a question like that, but in the interview, I was just like, I'm a young kid with infinite energy. I'll do all the shitty jobs. I just want money because I've never had it before, and I want to make it on my own. Yeah. You say that, and like that's probably like the best way of finding someone that wants to work. That gets you skipped over for like 40%, not 40%, 40 jobs in a row if you say shit like that in an interview.
Yeah, it's like the only people that will actually agree to you is like Walmart. And that's about it.
Yeah. The jobs that like will shit on you that no one else wants to take. But like you get one of like I was the best, like I said, I got promoted to manager in a month when I did fast food with 0 fast food experience. I made pizza before, but different than flipping burgers.
Loud. Just being loud and fast. That's all you got to do.
No, just showing up and working. No, you don't be loud. You shut up and you make sure every order is completed on time, and that's how you get your promotion. The guy that was loud. The guy that was loud was literally a Buffalo Wild Wings line cook. So all those memes about like, oh, the Buffalo Wild Wings line cook just being some crazy burnout, true. But he got skipped over despite being like the loudest one that's like, yeah, this is a lot easier than line cooks. So I've got this done. Dude was like late 20s, early 30s. And then I was just the quiet kid making sure every shift got fucking completed on time with everything done. And I got the management position. And they tried to like insubordinate me, and that created a lot of tension. The workforce is great.
Yeah. No, I struggled with the same thing, except I was loud. I was the one that would like invigorate the fire and just bitch and fucking complain if somebody was shitting the bed.
Oh, if I did that, I got written up. Even when I was manager, when I was complaining about how shitty our people were.
When me and my girlfriend worked together, because we worked together in the last place I worked before I hurt my neck, she's like, "No, you were loud and obnoxious." And everybody was okay with, like, there was one person in the entire team that didn't like me. That was it. It was like, okay, we're gonna rally around Zach because he's the one who's making sure we're not getting fired. He's the one who's doing the fucking shit that we don't want to fucking do. So let's just get it done. And it made like the cliche of, oh, we're a family. No, my team was actually like close knit and able to congeal together and work when it really shouldn't have fucking worked. You have fucking burnouts, you have dipshits, you have retards all working together. That shit doesn't fucking work very well if you don't have somebody who can actually lead.
I was leading, but there's only so much you can do when you got like 480 IQ people on your team and you're understaffed.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I fucking
And
agree.
the thing is, like, even when I was on the window, I was entertaining on the window and I was upselling like a motherfucker and people loved that. But I wasn't allowed to be at the window because they needed me to cover 3 positions on the line. Because, like, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you show up and, like, you look, it's like, all right, how many recommended for Friday evening? 5. How many do we have? 2.
3.
No, I've actually had 2. It was like where we had one person working walk up and drive through, and then I did the entire kitchen. It was for burgers, dude. I had to make burgers, bacon, and fries while restocking the entire line on a Friday evening because we had 2 out of the 5 people.
With the deli, when I was working in the deli, it was, you had to have somebody there to cover you. And I was doing half of the entire thing by myself. I was doing rotisserie chickens, doing the entire fry hot case thing and the salads. And I had to give it to people while cooking the food all at the same time. And every single time you stop doing one of those jobs, you have to change your gloves because it gets gross if you don't.
Yep.
So you just end up fucking losing it by the end of the night because you're just like, why can't you just fucking give me one person? You give me 3 people in here, one person that rotates in between, so that way we can go to fucking lunch and actually have coverage while I'm fucking cooking and nobody else can do it. Everything's okay then. But no, that's too much fucking money.
And then I was also a manager, so I had to, balance the fucking sheets and put in all the orders and stuff. So I had to do like 5 jobs at once, and my reward was 55-cent raise on federal minimum wage in Colorado. So I think I was making, like, I think it might have been a little above federal. It might have been $7.50 an hour, and then I got bumped to $8.05, and that was the most money I've ever seen. Actually, no, that was less money. I was making 11 sign spinning. Fuck. Because the thing is, like, as manager, you're supposed to get bonuses. That if we had a 95% accuracy score and we didn't deliver like more than 3 meals late, which never happening when you're understaffed, then you get like a 50-cent bonus. And if you did everything right at the end of the month, it was actually $9 an hour.
Yeah, because we're gonna go and back pay you. Hashtag we promise. It's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, that was my bonus when I got that. And then they gave me $50 stipend for free food.
We would be told, oh, guys, we made $50 million in the past quarter. Because I would see the trucks come in and it would be like, oh, this is $1 million truck. Oh, this is $900,000. You'd get one of those a day. They'd be like, oh yeah, we made $50,000 worth, $50 million worth of profit this quarter. Like, oh damn, you guys undersold it, didn't you? No, we're giving you guys all bonuses. Oh, how much? $300. Fuck you. We made you $50 million. Legitimately. Do I expect all that profit to go back to the people? Absolutely not. But you separated $100,000 or $50,000 to give a fucking $300 to every single one of your workers. You're shit. That is shit. Like if you make $50 million profit, you could split up $1 million in between your fucking employees in one store. That's not complicated. Sorry, it's just not.
And that's what turns people into socialists when they see that, and then they just get very mad at the system.
It does. It fucking does. Like, I absolutely agree. Should you pull yourself up and keep going? Absolutely. Should you keep changing jobs and find something that actually values you? Abso-fucking-lutely. But the fact that they can make that much profit and not
Those
give you
jobs
the
should
value
pay their
back,
fair share.
it sucks, man. It sucks when that's the only thing that's available. It really does. So, on a much more fun topic, so HBO is currently making a Harry Potter series, a TV series where each season is going to be a book, essentially.
Yeah.
They've recasted the entire thing. They've started rewriting everything.
I guess you have to explain to the audience. I know what's going on though.
But I'm thoroughly excited for this. Like Harry Potter is one of my fucking things. It's one of the series that I fucking like. Obviously, you have Harry Potter poster number 1 and number 2. The Diagon Alley poster behind me. Like, there's a lot of shit, I like Harry Potter. This series has me thoroughly excited, content-wise, with HBO making it, them putting this much money and attention into it.
Hogwarts Legacy was a fucking banger of a game.
And there's a second one already like, it is already greenlit. It is already being made. And it's a continuation of the next story, which is fantastic. It's the right way to go about it. New kid, new session, whatever, but it's a new story. But I guess they started getting backlash for J.K. Rowling being a TERF again, which I guess she's a trans adverse something feminist. So she's against trans people. And HBO said no. JK has only added to the Harry Potter series, and we plan on keeping her entirely as a part of this as we absolutely can. We're not getting rid of her. It's like, yes.
The aura of Trump's win is that powerful.
Yes, guys, they did the right fucking thing for once. They told them to go fuck themselves.
I've been hearing through like a lot of different channels where just like the woke experiment failed. Silicon Valley is waking up. All these entertainment industries, they've hemorrhaged money. They realize like they tried the ideas. Props to them. They wanted to see if this system could work and equity and all that fun stuff and more opportunity. But it just doesn't in the real world. So now people are pushing back.
It makes me wonder if
except for Jaguar, that was hilarious.
It makes me wonder if they genuinely felt like those were things that they actually held as a valuable ideology.
Or no, it was all fake virtue signaling. Every last bit of it.
Because it's a fucking game to me. It smells like a game. It looks like a game. It seems a lot like a game. Buddy, I think it's a game. It seems like a game to me. It seems like an absolute fucking game.
We predicted this a decade ago. False moral superiority through virtue signaling. That's all it is. It's a fake signal to say I'm better than you because I pretend I care. And then all it does is create unproductivity and slop. And now
and a whole bunch of people saying we stand with Ukraine on Facebook.
And that's not sustainable, it turns out.
I want to do this. I think this would be hilarious. I want to grab like 1,000 people that have I stand with Ukraine as their Facebook banner and ask them, where on the map is Ukraine? And show them a map of Europe without any labels on it. And I guarantee you, 90% have no idea where Ukraine is.
That'd be like one of those Jimmy Kimmel things where he goes on the street and it's just like, what's 8 plus 12? And then everyone gets it wrong.
I was hoping you were going to say 9 plus 10, and I was going to say 21. But no, it's pants on head fucking retarded, man. But I am so happy that HBO actually stood behind her and said, no, this is the writer of the content we're working from. We're not fucking changing it.
Get woke, go broke. Oh, the Dragon Age Inquisition thing. That's just another thing people are like, see, it's successful. It got 90,000 concurrents. It's like, bro, that's crap in the modern era. That's like 1 million sales for a game that, what?
What happened? Completely.
Dragon Age? Or was it Inquisition or was it the other one? Fuck.
I don't play Inquisition's Dragon Age. The old one. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, yeah. Dragon... Veilguard. Veilguard was it. So, Veilguard is woke trash. That I think it's the one where you can have mastectomy scars and half of the story plots are about like parents not accepting their identity and a lot of weird backstories like that.
I think I've heard about it.
Yeah, so that got like a lot of pushback where it's just like it's just woke stuff that they just kind of threw in, and the game lost a lot of pre-orders, hit like 80,000 peak concurrent viewers, and maybe got 2 million sales. But Inquisition cost like 60 million to develop, and that was a decade ago. So now we have like a modern game that probably cost 200 mil to make, making maybe 100 mil because it went woke and got broke, and everyone's defending it. 80K, it's great. IGN says it's a 9 out of 10. And praise my gender identity and all this stuff. It accepts me for who I am. And then it's like, but no, the gaming community doesn't care about that. And now I'm waiting for all those articles to come out where it's just like, it's done.
No, and it's so interesting because there's so many games like X-Defiant. Every single time Call of Duty does something, Deserto comes out and says, "Oh, guys, X-Defiant's closing. X-Defiant's going to be over real soon. Don't even stress about it. Don't worry about it. It's done." X-Defiant does, the numbers that it has been doing the entire time, and it's like, "Oh no, guys, don't stress about it. It's closing." Call of Duty is releasing season 2.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, Dragon Age Veilguard
space is fucking weird now.
It's like really comparable to Concord. What happened with that? Whereas like all that money for nothing because none of the characters were appealing, and it just you put characterization over gameplay, and it just completely falls apart. And that's really what happened with Dragon Age Veilguard.
I wonder what's going to happen with GTA 6. Is that woke shit going to bite GTA before the woke shit's done?
I think it's one of those things where that's too big to fail.
Oh, it's too big to fail.
Kind of like how Baldur's Gate still succeeded even with like bear fucking.
Honestly, and this might be my man bias. Man bias. Let me mansplain for a second. I made this joke to my girlfriend. I was like, we started watching House of Cards, and it said sex, violence, and nudity as the first 3 things at the top. I was like, all of these things are my favorite. All of them. I was like, you want to know what's great about this show? It's filmed as a way, and it's filmed in a way where it absolutely makes sense, like it's real fucking life. Like you could suspend your disbelief and it's real. Sex happens in real life, violence happens in real life, and guess what? Nudity does too. I don't care if I see a dude ass as long as I see a girl ass too. As long as it's fucking equal and we're not just ham-handing shit in, we're okay. It makes me feel like a lot of these things, a lot of these games and stuff like that, that's finally bringing in nudity or finally bringing in sex into games when we've had violence for so long. It makes me wonder actually what is going to happen next. Because I think the next rally is going to be against video game violence and video game sexuality again.
Well, I think it's because, much like everything that's happening with the left, it's way overshooting. I think Baldur's Gate succeeded because it put gameplay first, and then they tried to kind of paint it to where you could have your horniest D&D campaign. And they weren't too heavy with it, but it was still slightly offensive to people. And I think that's because we're just seeing too much degeneracy in the world. Like, you can take a look... what was it? The Witcher. Didn't that have, like, sex scenes and nudity or something? Like, you can get away with it in a tasteful, non-degenerate way, but when you were, like, imprinting your fetishes into a game, too far.
But I think, like, even if we look back and think back, there is the Playboy game on PlayStation 2 that I'm sure had nudity. You had GTA that had nudity. It's not like nudity in games is new, but it's now becoming a more and more
that like when you're in a GameStop, you see AO as a rating, and it's like, whoa, there's a tier above mature. That's wild.
Dude, I wanted to play those games so bad, and I understand that sounds fucking stupid, but I was like that 13-year-old kid.
What is that? That is the forbidden fruit.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was always interesting to me, and I know that's probably fucking off and weird, but at the same time, it's like, no, it was interesting. It's interesting to see a difference of like, oh, well, GTA is mature. This is adult. What the fuck is
like I said, there's a tier above mature. I didn't even think that was possible.
What is it?
How do you go higher than 18 plus?
How many fucks do they say in the campaign? I don't know. It's crazy. So I got a question for you, and I thought it was an interesting one because I don't know. If your girlfriend came to you and was like, "Hey, Burles, you fucking snore like a fucking trucker, you fucking weirdo. And every single time you're sleeping, you fucking roll over and you take the entire fucking blanket. I want us to sleep in our own beds in our own rooms." Do you accept that, or is that relationship over?
I'd be down with that. Like, as
You'd be
long as we
down.
still sleep together sometimes. If it's like a
No,
permanent...
never. Never. There's no going back. You sleep completely in different rooms.
That just sounds like a not real situation. Like, at that point, that's just her telling you she hates you. Because it's one of those
Because
things where
like,
it's like, no, you can still sleep together and cuddle and like enjoy time and Netflix and pass out in the same bed and it should be fine. Or like getting slightly sleep disrupted once or twice a week shouldn't be that bad of a thing.
oh, absolutely. I completely
But
agree.
like, I
But
don't even understand how you can get to a world of never. Because like, I'd like to sleep by myself sometimes and just have the option of like, yeah, I'll just go to my room and I'll do my thing.
that
But if
fucking
it's like
nap
a
when
never
you're
at...
like just hitting the fucking pillow and you're spread eagle across the bed, you
Mhm.
know, that bed starfish feels
Bro,
really
it,
good
it
at
is
six
it is
five.
different. Like, it is weird how like the first flop is like the most natural way you just fall into the bed, and that's the most comfortable. If you reposition from the first flop, you never get it back.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, also there'd be like things to try first. Hopefully, like, let's get a better pillow, and if you're financially well off, let's actually get like a really sick mattress that can maybe deal with this. But if like there's no options and it's like we're never sleeping in the same bed together, yeah, it's over. I'm not going to spend 10 years bed detached from the rest of my life, bed detached with someone that should be in a relationship. That sounds over. That's like the 50-year loveless marriage kind of shit.
Yeah,
Having sex
that
on your
shit's weird to
birthday, that's
me.
all you get. That's where that's headed. But no, I'm thinking like if there's compromise, I'm fine with it. I'm not offended if it's
No,
like, hey, can we not sleep together every time? Sure.
like even dealing with my stepdad, and you could hear him fucking snore through anything. He was the loudest fucking person that snored. He had the worst sleep apnea ever. He refused to use the machine. He has like this
Hmm.
start of emphysema because of how much he smoked
Also,
and
I
everything
know I'm
else.
probably not the best person to sleep in a bed with because I sweat in my sleep. So yeah, and I'm not gonna be like just wear earphones or like earplugs for the rest of your life, babe. It'll be cool. It's like no, if you can't tolerate it, that's fine. But there has to still be like some acceptance for that because it can't be the most impossible thing to sleep with someone.
Exactly. And I I don't understand the people that do this shit where it's like, okay, no, we need completely separate rooms. We need this, we need that. Like, I'm not one of those people at all. Like, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, that is my best fucking friend. That is
Hmm.
the person I
Yeah,
rely
that's what I mean.
on,
Like
and
that's what I
I'm
mean. Like you don't have love and you don't have willingness to compromise if there's no solution to that. Shit, just go like King of the Hill style, where you get two double beds and you can just split them apart or put them together. And if it's too loud, just go to the opposite side of the room and try to dampen.
exactly like I just I don't understand. And I remember watching so much 90s like TV shows and stuff where they're like, oh yeah, we sleep in different rooms. And it's like, why the fuck do you do that? Why is this even a
Well, that was
relationship?
very like conservative 80s women barely getting able to vote kind of shit.
It's just it's still weird because you can see the through lines of what probably happens today.
Actually, if anything, it's another flip where the man is just kind of like, I want my privacy, and the woman goes to her cave until she's needed for food and sex. And now it's the women independence making it to where if there's any disagreement from the man or any inconvenience, the woman is now allowed to be the free one. It's kind of like how like segregation is back, that people want like to segregate from others instead of being forced into it. It's weird.
I There's fucking stupid shit with that. Have you ever seen, I think it's either Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro, and they're talking on stage and they're like, okay, so you want there to be black safe spaces and black only dorm rooms. And it pans the camera over to the guy, and he's whiter than the person that was on stage. And he's like, yes, they should have their own safe spaces, guys. They need their own space. He's like, this sounds like segregation, and I believe we got rid of that a while ago, didn't we?
It's my opinion that is a bad thing. Didn't California overturn like a segregation law because something happened?
California overturned a segregation law. That would be the weirdest fucking thing I've heard today. And I've heard some weird shit. The fuck is this, man? California
Uh,
overturns a segregation law.
it was fuck. It was like actually like a Jim Crow. I was it that they were trying to like reverse Jim Crow laws or something?
That'd be insane because I don't even think that they were available to start.
Like it was one of the popular ones. Roe v. Wade is abortion, and the other one was a thing, or maybe it was like
Brown versus
workers'
Board of.
rights. I think it was. It wasn't that. I think it was something about workers' rights where like you can't discriminate, but now they wanted discrimination so that more black people get hired or
Oh
something.
yes, I saw that. I saw this. It was more about workers' rights kind of shit.
Yeah,
You're
but still kind of
absolutely
like the
right with
same
that.
idea.
Yeah, no, that shit's fucking retarded. When they were the ones that were using it negatively, it's fucking insane.
I mean, it's completely flipped. Yeah, well,
Fucking hell, man.
that's what I mean. Like the Yuri Bezmenov thing, where it's like it's a word that's I've heard and it's in my brain somewhere, and I don't know the sauce to pull it out of Google.
So I saw this fucking clip from Jimmy Fallon. And Jimmy Fallon to me seems like one of those guys that just he's more acceptable than Jimmy Kimmel. He's more acceptable than like the other dudes. And I don't know if that's just because he's from close to me or whatever, but he seemed like a more regular dude. Is he a lefty? Sure, but he's more normal.
It's one of those things where like the left ran away from him, kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Now he would be considered probably closer to a centrist, but he's a lefty. He's definitely a lefty. He's from New York. I understand that. So he had this family on. They're called the Cosco Guys. Have you seen these guys?
No.
Heard of these guys? It is the most brain rot shit I've ever heard of in my life, and I don't fucking understand why they are fucking popular.
You do. Rizzler likes chocolate. What do you give at the boom meter?
1 boom. Boom.
Oh my God. Barely gave it.
So the dad, his name's AJ, is like a jacked dude who I guess was a professional wrestler for a little bit, but like never did anything. He was like an indie dude who did like 5 or 6 dates a year, and then all of a sudden's like, oh, my kids are old enough. Maybe I'll bring them to the one now. And his main son, his name is Big Justice, and he has these braces. And my girlfriend was like, "Oh, he's like 15 or 16." No, this kid is like overweight and like 11, and he's like pushing 120 pounds, 130 pounds at like 5'2", 5'3". And then they have the youngest son, and his name is the Rizzler. And
Oh
he's
yeah, the
still
Rizzler. Okay, that's who it is. I've heard of the Rizzler, but I know nothing else about these people.
and he's pushing like 80 pounds, and he's like 4 or 5. He's straight up an Oompa Loompa or Grimace from like McDonald's. Like it's bad. It's fucking bad. So these dipshits go on Jimmy Kimmel, and this is where I heard of not Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, and I heard of them for the first time. And Jimmy Fallon hands them a Twizzler, and he's like, "This gets 5 big booms, boom!" And I'm like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is this?" So I go on a deep dive of like who the fuck these people are, because I'm like, why the fuck is my brain being infiltrated by this dumbass fucking shit about how many booms this gets? Because this is the most Italian American fake shit since Jersey Shore that I've ever fucking seen in my life. And then you look at their comments and it's all racist shit that they're not fucking deleting. All of it. They're live
Oh,
streaming on fucking TikTok and they're
I'm like
not
racist. What from people that support the Rizzler? No, anti-white, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, no, like hard R, like just comments filled with it entirely. I'm like, what the fuck is this? If anybody did this on fucking YouTube or Twitter or Twitch, they'd be fucking gone. They'd be gone in fucking seconds. TikTok, this shit's just going, and there's hundreds of thousands of people watching this douchebag just saying boom 50 fucking times. I don't fucking understand it.
That's
Go
like some
another
honey
step.
boo boo level shit.
Yeah, I go another step deeper. Still, don't fucking understand why these people are fucking caught on about a double chocolate choc cookie. I don't fucking get it, man. I don't fucking get it. And then he starts using his daughter, who's 14 fucking years old, and there's sexual fucking comments in the TikTok and the Instagram comments saying how she's so attractive and way more perverse comments than that. and he doesn't stop putting his daughter in videos. Like,
so we got Daddy of 5 all over again.
Now she's becoming, the most integrated person in the fucking channel and just being shown over and over and over and over again. These people went from like, I would assume some people see it as wholesome, a dad and a son doing shit. That's cool. It's stupid saying 5 big booms, but it's like the weird dad and son that just have the same sense of humor. It's weird for the dad to have the same sense of humor as the kid, and the kid's acting a little bit above his age. It's that weirdness there. Now it's gone to absolute weird PDF level shit where it's just gone.
Oh, damn, I missed the Meat Canyon We're Cosco Guys video. That would have caught me all the way up in 3 minutes.
Damn it. But fucking hell, we're Cosco Guys. I don't fucking get these guys. I don't understand this shit. I don't understand exploiting your kids, because that's what a lot of kid content
is. Yeah, here we go. Jimmy Fallon, Big Justice, the Rizzler, face tutorial. It's an IRL Meat Canyon video is the top comment.
And he's showing them how to do the fucking mewing thing. Like, are you people fucking so dumb that you don't understand what the fuck this shit is? He's pointing to his chin and he has Riz.
Glad to see the Rizzler supporting smaller creators like Jimmy Fallon.
The dude better have Riz. He's 80 pounds at fucking 10 years old, and he could roll down a fucking hill.
What's weird is, like, no one understands mewing. That they see someone go, like, it's like he's mewing. It's like, that's not what mewing is. Yeah. But it's like, whenever someone makes, like, a weird face.
Even when you do it. You don't even have a chin when you do it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Like, whenever someone makes a weird face, like, oh, he's not doing anything weird. He's just mewing. It's like, he's not even doing that. He's just fucked like you.
Like, the dude legitimately looks like an Italian version of Peter Griffin. I promise you can't see his jawline. Do we want to shit on the kid? Absolutely not. But stop fucking pushing these retards. Stop pushing them. I don't get it. I don't understand. And I don't know if I'm out of touch or they are, but this is fucking weird. It is.
I mean, we've always loved sideshows. Like I said, Honey Boo Boo and shit like that. Hoarders.
But is that what this is? Is it like a Honey Boo Boo, or is this like an actual cultural thing like fucking Jersey Shore, where they're like, oh, one of these guys is cool. And it's like, oh,
that's cool what I mean. Like, it gets unironic acceptance, and it's always been that way, and now it's turbocharged by TikTok.
I don't understand the double.
I mean, we've had degenerates, the Cash Me Outside girl, becoming famous because she went on syndicated television or national TV, just like this Jimmy Fallon thing. It's the same shit. Different toilet.
I don't fucking understand, man. I genuinely don't. I don't get it. And I'm willing to admit that I might be out of fucking touch.
Pokemon evolution line, goddamn.
It makes sense. It makes sense. Man. So, guys.
Actually, wait, the scary thing is, like, that is the average family right now, though. They just got popular with it, but you have, like, the Zoomer, like, the late stage Zoomer that got kind of fucked up by the end of it, and then you got the new Zoomer Gen Alpha kid that's completely rizzed out and fucked, and then the dad that just like, if I don't fall into this, we lose everything.
And the shitty thing is, and this is the fucked up part to me, and I hate this. The dad is fucking jacked. He's like, even if he's just fatter than.
If I saw him at a gun range wearing a MAGA hat, I'd just be like,
yeah. No, he's a dude that you're like, if you have to carry a 250-pound thing, you're like, hey, dude, can you grab that?
He reminds me of Kentucky Ballistics. He seems like a dude.
Exactly. Like, to me, he would be the logical dad that's going to have 2 extremely fucking fit kids, and he's the dude that you would want to possibly hang out with.
I wouldn't say fit, but I would at least, like, at the very least, not terminally online. Because, like, you do see it, like, in the backwoods, you know, where you get Bubba out there who can fucking throw hay bales all day and is still fat, and his kids are the obese welfare trailer trash kind of thing. Like, that's what that looks like to me. So I can still exist, but now it's just modernized.
It doesn't make sense to me that you have him and the youngest son, Rizzler, is legitimately Grimace from fucking McDonald's. Like it doesn't make sense to me. And I don't know if that's just what culture has become. Like all kids are fat now.
Oh
like all women are fat. I don't understand.
We talked about seed oils. It's over. 70% overweight in this country probably.
Women, the average weight of women is overweight.
Oh, dating apps it's over. It's GG for me. Everything's curvy. Everything is, if you don't want a BBW, get out of here.
And they don't understand what a BBW is. A BBW is not 400 pounds. It just isn't. Mm-hmm. I don't fucking get it, man.
Well, they're not that bad, but, it's one of those things where it's like, we got no skinny goth chicks anymore. What am I supposed to do?
You got to find that goth dommy mommy. That will put that.
Then they say no Trump on the bio, and I'm just out.
I know. You, dude, you're swinging on both fences, and then you're fucking yourself. That's the problem. The entire problem. Yeah, exactly. You got to swing on both sides.
I decided to not become like Destiny and just completely fold.
It's going to be weird to see what happens with him.
Oh, he's losing it.
He said one thing that makes a lot of fucking sense, and I completely agree. He said, all of you people that are dyeing your hair and putting gauges in your nose and all that shit, we can't win with you. So leave us the fuck alone. Just let them the fuck go.
It's crazy how he's kind of transcended into the Z-axis of the political compass. Because who even knows what he is? He's got like those conservative views, but he's also hyper-liberal cuck. Like, where is he?
I have no fucking idea. No fucking idea. I don't understand what he is. He is definitely more complex than I think people give him credit for.
That's when he's transcended. But now that's made everyone think he's a freak. He's losing it.
But he's not wrong. You're not going to be able to win with people that are fighting for those rights, the rights to go into bathrooms, the rights to go and fucking fight in UFC.
And then those same people are like, well, then that means you're agreeing with literally Hitler, so it doesn't matter if I have a gauge in my ear because literally Hitler is always bad.
I saw the funniest video, and we'll end the podcast on this, and I'll put the video at the end for all you people that decided to stay. It is the funniest cop interaction that I've ever seen, ever. So a cop comes up and he knocks on the window and says, okay, guys, need your ID, registration, insurance. Dude pops out a cat collar and says, I identify as a cat. This is my ID, hands him his collar. He says, sir, what do you identify as? He says, I identify as a cat. He says, okay. Who is this? Is this your boyfriend? He says, no, sir. I'm not his boyfriend. I'm his handler. Or something similar to it. The cop looks back and says, sir, we can go about this one of two ways. You guys can act normally. And, I might not even give you a fucking ticket and everything will be okay.
Yeah, just get out of my sight.
Or I'm going to call animal control. He might get you up to date on your shots. You have to pay $75 to get back. And you probably will get a rabies vaccine and, all of those things. And the handler's like, shit, should I? He's like, sir, like, can we just stop all this? This is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen as a cop. Honestly, you're contemplating letting him get a rabies vaccine instead of just handing me your normal identification. This is what's wrong with this country, and it fades to black.
I feel like the better play would just be like, all right, so where are his papers or whatever the cat was.
Here you go. Okay. So you do currently have a California driver's license, you just don't have a physical copy on you at the moment?
That's my preferred method of identification.
And this is?
It's a cat collar. I'm currently identifying as a cat.
Fair enough. The information here on the tag, I'm assuming belongs to you, the boyfriend?
Yeah. That's so rude. I hope you know I'm recording.
Well, it wasn't my intention to offend you, but he just identified as a cat, and you're wearing a Harriet's Waltz t-shirt, so forgive me if I came to a conclusion that you guys are involved in some sort of a homosexual arrangement.
I'm not mad that you think we're together, but you're using gendered language. Besides, I'm not his boyfriend, I'm his owner.
Okay. Well, look, we can do this the hard way if you'd like. I can have this car towed because last I checked, a cat is not licensed to operate a motor vehicle in the state of California. We can have animal control come get you, take you to a shelter where your owner can retrieve you for a fee of $70 after you're given the necessary immunizations, which do include a rabies shot, possibly even spayed or neuter, whichever you prefer or identify with. Is that what you guys want to do here?